Hey there! I believe we're live. There's always a bit of a delay. Anyways, hey there! Welcome back yet again. Justin Fox, founder and CEO of Backers. Marc Andre Coulombe, chief of corporate affairs with Veritas Terra, and we've got our special guest today, Guillaume Letourneau. Guillaume, welcome to the show today. You are with Veritas Terra as well, correct? So why don't you tell us a little bit? Why don't we step in here? So we'll jump right in. Just quick note. I wanted to throw this out there. Anyone that's watching, understand this is what we're doing. So basically, Backers is a platform that allows organizations, entities like Veritas Terra to raise capital for their business. In this case, Veritas Terra has launched a fund that is selling shares or units in the fund on the Backers platform. So anyone right now in Canada, this is a brand new platform, brand new set of regulations using the cutting edge technology, cryptographic, blockchain-based technology to mint these tokens, sell the tokens to the investors, and then they hold them in their digital wallet. So we're revolutionizing the way businesses or changing the way businesses get funding or the way projects get funded, whether it's real estate or in the case here we're talking about reforestation and saving the planet. I've gotten a little bit of feedback, both positive and negative. I'll just say this. The fact that you're watching, thank you very much. It means that we're getting through to people. So that was my only little pitch. I just wanted to say that at the beginning because some people are saying it's not scripted, it's this, it's that. People are saying it is what it is. People are enjoying it though. I know that because we're getting a lot of positive feedback. So I wanted to say thank you to Marc, obviously, for joining me every day on this show. And then I want to jump right in before that was my preface. And everything we say on here is not financial advice. So do with it what you will, and do it only if it is right for you, right? And it makes sense for you. So we're gonna jump right in. Guillaume, welcome to the show. So why don't we start? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Veritas Terra, what made you decide to join the company, and sort of, give us maybe a little sort of background of who Guillaume Letourneau is.
Okay, well, thanks. I'm kind of new with Veritas Terra, so I joined for almost a year now.
Okay.
Before that, I was working in research at Laval University, mostly in the fields of agronomy and like water use in agriculture. And well, what made me join Veritas Terra is that, like in my previous work, I was mostly focused on doing research on like one specific crop or one specific agricultural context, and I always wanted to expand. And now with Veritas, all these aspects are covered in our business model. So it goes from protection of the environment to production to climate change. So social and economical development. So everything's there. So that's kind of what I like. I kind of like to touch all fields.
Perfect. So, and what is your role at Veritas Terra? What is your...
Yeah, I'm the director of research and development.
Okay.
So lots of stuff to do. We always try to improve our biotechnology, our methods. For some stuff that we cannot do ourselves, we have to link with the research centers, universities, and so that's my main area at Veritas Terra.
Perfect. So you completed, to kind of give you a bit of your background. So you completed a master's degree in physical chemical properties of organic growing media and a PhD in soils and agricultural hydrology. Say that 10 times fast.
Justin, when you can't name the study, it means that they did.
I was gonna say I'm reading that like I don't even know how to read that. I'm illiterate. So okay. So tell us a little bit. So obviously you have your master's, your PhD. Tell us a little bit. Where did you go to school? Actually, just shout out to your universities, your alma maters.
So, all was officially like my master's and PhD were all at Laval University in Quebec.
Okay.
But
Okay.
during my PhD, I spent 3 years in California doing experiments over there. So it's not like it was not an official registration with a university in California, but I spent a lot of time there.
Okay. Interesting. So sort of like an intern or some sort of like co-op type thing, or just a broad study kind of thing, like joint partnership to study there.
Yeah, well, I was studying irrigation and it rains a lot in Quebec. So it
Right.
was much easier to get results in California with the stable climate and all. So it was kind of interesting to go there.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So, so let's talk a little bit about obviously your experience. You've got tremendous experience. So tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you were involved with sort of prior to coming to Veritas Terra.
Well, I've always worked in research and mostly in the agricultural field. So I'm used to like large scale field experiments about water use in agriculture. So mainly what I did was always we find a grower that needs help and we help him to like make the best use of his water. So like put just the right amount in the right time to get the optimal crop productivity for him. So that's the main thing that I did before joining Veritas Terra. So I've managed lots of big research projects with many crops in Quebec and California. And well, since I joined the VTI, I've been involved already in this short year in lots of research projects. So I've worked on genetical adaptation of tree species to various contaminated sites. I've also been working on trying to improve the use of some byproducts that are available to help us restore sites and species selection. And also the scaling up of our operations. So trying to find more efficient ways to grow and plant our seeds and everything like that. So yeah, in only a year, I've worked on like simultaneously on 5 research projects. So that's very interesting.
Perfect. So it's interesting that so you've been able to kind of explore. Let me just get me back on here. So we kind of left you there in limbo. Terrible production value here. I'm learning how to produce while be the host, everything all at once. So interesting. So you've been able to do a number of different things with Veritas Terra. So let's talk about. I'm going to dive into the hard questions. Obviously, we kind of had a little discussion beforehand. You and Mark obviously know the answers to a lot of this, but a lot of people maybe are kind of new to this. Before I jump into more questions with Guillaume, Mark, for the people that are watching, what exactly is Trees of Lives right now as far as a fund, and what is it that they're looking to do? Just give us kind of a quick synopsis. Let's dive in, and then obviously I think the next bunch of questions are going to be where Guillaume can sort of talk to the expertise or some of the how you're going to do it. But why don't you just give us like a high level? What is Trees of Lives? And why should somebody participate in the initial offering on the backers platform? Why should somebody invest? Again, this is not investment advice.
Yeah, I'm going to jump right into this, but like what I wanted to do and what we wanted to do together, like by inviting Guillaume, was to show like the type of biotechnology that we're able to develop. Like Veritas Terra is really like a company that do landscape restoration, and we do it in a scientific way. And we have a research center. And that's what like we want to discuss today with Guillaume. So what's Trees of Lives again? Like we've been talking about this like for a couple days, and we're going to talk to this in the following days and weeks. But Trees of Lives is investing money in very large scale project that are degraded and from landholder that don't have the money basically to pay for that kind of restoration. So we kind of mix and we join together like your platform is doing with like investor and people looking for investment opportunity. We are doing the joining of basically the landholder that have lands to restore, and those impact investors that wants to help those land to be restored.
So it's basically kind of you're bringing together all the partners in sort of the landowners, the investors, obviously the fund, and then your expertise to make it a viable solution. And we've talked about over the past couple of days, and I'll ask the same sort of questions again, and we'll ask it of Guillaume. But I think so people understand it's really to make it a viable solution, alternative solution to slash and burn and other types of deforestation or extraction, right? Extraction methods. So okay, let's talk a little bit. Let's dive into I'd say the science or the technology aspect. And this maybe this is coming. This is coming. Yeah, with Guillaume, exactly. We've talked over the past couple of days about some of the important things that you guys do, obviously around the restoration. And one of the questions that we have here, and I think this is obviously, talk about. You said going to California for not drainage. What was the word you used? Irrigation. So this right into this question: why is soil health so important in ecological restoration of degraded lands? I guess is the question. Why is it so important to maintain or increase soil health?
Well, it's the foundation of everything. It's like the key to success or to failure. If you try to just plant trees or various species without taking care of the soil, then you're bound to fail. But if you manage soil health in the process, you're on the way to build some sort of a self-sustainable system. Like an healthy soil will promote plant growth. These plants will leave residues to the soil and keep it healthier and everything. So that's really the key element of any project.
Okay, interesting. So that's kind of the key is the soil health. So that I guess brings us to the next question. And just for the record, everyone out there, I'll throw this out. We do have questions set up, so it is somewhat planned. So the next one is, why is sort of this knowledge of hydrological processes essential in the restoration of the degraded land?
Well, every degraded site has its own specific characteristics. So we might have to face dry spells, droughts, or torrential rains. So the understanding of hydrology is really essential in the planning of the process. We can get freely available data to predict precipitations and then the plant requirements, and it helps us to optimize the soil, the growing media, because we put additives in there to make sure that we have proper water retention, air availability, and also water is the main contributor to plant growth. That's evident, but it's also the main responsible of pollution. So if there's any nutrient or contaminant in the soil, being able to predict where the water goes will help us to put in place solutions to avoid contaminations or river or water bodies or anything, or the deeper watersheds. So understanding water movement is essential, and we have the ability to predict that based on easily available data, and then implement adapted solutions to almost any type of situations.
And basically, being able to measure those things will be able to make us enabling measurement of the impact we have. So when we want to have on the trees of lives, we want to have an impact on the water or impact on the forest. Those are the numbers. When we work with Guillaume, those are the kind of measurement we will have on the data management platform, and that we will use those data to publish. The impact we have on the environment, on the soil, on the hydrology, of our system. So we will be able to show clearly the impact of our restoration project, what was there before and what we face now that we've done our restoration project.
Interesting. Okay, so just all those that are just kind of tuning in, I see the numbers are going up. It's actually our most viewed show to date, so that's cool. We're doing something right. Everyone loves Guillaume. Everyone loves Guillaume. It's the guitar in the background.
The guitar.
Yeah, it's the guitar. I'm gonna ask at the end. Can you play us a couple of chords?
I think a string's missing or something.
Oh yeah. You need the pick, right? You're missing the pick. Anyways, so everyone that's watching, Trees of Lives is a fund that's raising capital for their projects in various places around the world, restoration projects. They're raising capital on the backers platform as an issuer through their initial backers offering or IBO. So they're raising. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, again, just so people are watching, I see the numbers kind of going up. We're at, a few viewers, which is pretty cool live right now. Mark, why don't you tell us what is Trees of Lives? What is Verdes Terra in a nutshell? Just recap it again, and then we'll jump back into more science with Guillaume.
Okay, so Verdes Terra is a company that is doing landscape restoration, putting high biodiversity ecosystem. And Trees of Lives is a fund, to enable people that have degraded soil, that don't have the money to restore their soil, with impact investor that has the money and wants to make money out of doing good. Because that's the key. If you invest in any kind of fund, you can invest in project infrastructure stuff that can degrade the environment, degrade the planet. But with Trees of Lives, you can invest in a project that you're making money while helping the planet, while helping the people. That's the key of what is Trees of Lives, and all with the science behind, with Verdes Terra and all the expertise we're going to show in the following days and weeks.
Exactly. So they
and
can end
with Guillaume.
With Guillaume. Guillaume's the special guest today, and we're going to see his musical, not only just scientific, but maybe musical talents. But okay,
we're working on that.
We're working on that. Yeah. It's funny. My kids just started guitar lessons about a month ago, so they're enjoying it. So maybe Guillaume, you can show them, or we'll show them how it's really done. Maybe not. Anyways, so basically on the backers platform, people can invest in opportunities just like Trees of Lives. They can invest as little as $100. So this is a brand new opportunity that's never existed for 99% of the population. Those who are non-accredited investors can now participate on the backers platform with as little as $100 in investment opportunities that never were available to them through the use of now what we use, crypto/blockchain technology, where we actually tokenize the assets of these investments. And then those investments are held in a digital wallet through the sort of tokenization or digitization of the assets. So very unique model or platform, really cool investment opportunity. Again, this is not, not investment advice or financial advice. So do your own due diligence. But we're discussing here with Marc-André Coulombe, who is the Chief of Corporate Affairs. I've been on with him every day for the past 6-7 days. We'll continue for the next couple of weeks. And then we have Guillaume Letourneau, who is with Verdes Terra on sort of director, working in the field with the actual technology in what do you call it? The resource centers, is it? Do you work in the resource centers, Guillaume, or do you go remote, or are you usually in Quebec, or what do you travel around?
Well, all these answers, we do our own research at our center, but sometimes most of our work implies field work, and it's the best way to learn how to restore a site is to travel to degraded sites. So every time we have a new project, we go there, make measurements, and we have our own technologies, procedures, but we're always trying to adapt them so they're better suited to any specific site. So we go there, collect data. If our technologies work, well, that's good news. But if some improvement can be made, then I go to work and we try to find out ways to make sure everything's is in order.
Yeah, so Guillaume is useful when there's some uncertainty and when we don't know how to make something work. Now Guillaume comes in as the superhero of Veristera to find the answer.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting to re-say. So you have a master's in physiochemical properties and of organic growing, and a PhD in soils and agricultural hydrology. Again, we said earlier, if you can't say it fast, it means you know a lot, right? So,
and that's the simplified version.
Right, exactly. So, minors and this and that, exactly. So, well, why don't we jump into the last sort of question I have, and then I have some other questions. Maybe we're going to jump in, and I think now that we've got a few viewers here live, maybe we'll see if we can get some people asking live questions on various comments on the channels. So if you have a question, be sure to drop it in a comment below, whether you're on LinkedIn. So just so the record, we're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube today. So we've got our reach has expanded trifold. So we'll hopefully, if people have questions, ask away. If we don't answer it in the show or live, myself, Mark, or Guillaume, depending on who the question's for, will answer the question after the fact as well. So, well, let's jump into the last one. Guillaume, can you comment on your sort of appreciation and the value you see in the business model of Veristera with respect to soil health? So I think that was a question that was posed by some people earlier. What are your thoughts on the whole business model and how this can, I guess, improve soil health? Or I know we talked a little bit about soil health, but what are your thoughts on the business model?
Well, the model is essential to ensure the durability of anything we try to do to improve the soil. We could just go someplace and plant some special species or put some amendments that would improve the soil. But without the backing of the investments and all the other aspects that are covered in our model, so improve the participation of local communities, make sure that everybody can get profits from the restoration of the land, and also include make sure that socially and environmentally everything is sound. So everything around the physical work that we do in respect to soil health helps to make sure that the work will have a positive impact for the long term. And so we work specifically on the soil, but also I'm not alone with this. So we have agronomists, biologists, many engineers around. So and our marketing department and everything. So we make sure that everything we do is sustainable and will generate benefits for everybody. So.
Yeah, basically, like the science can be right, but there needs to be a business model behind this. This needs to generate profit somehow so that it can finance more and more and more restoration. So I think both are important. You don't want just to do money, because now you can harm the planet. But once the science is right, you need to add a sound business model behind this. And I think this is what Veristera and Trees of Life Fund has to offer.
Yeah, there are lots of examples around the world of projects that started good but then failed because there's lack of support, and then when the funding is over, then everything is left there to just wither in time. But with our model that promotes long-term productivity, so all the good things we try to implement, well, they stay there and they work for a long time. So.
Interesting. So before, I really appreciate you guys joining me. Obviously, just to recap, everyone's watching, kind of coming in live at different times. My name is Justin Fox. I'm founder and CEO of Backers. We are essentially a sort of the evolution of what equity crowdfunding would be, where we facilitate initial backers offerings or IBOs, which are essentially private companies raising capital for their own project or whatever it is to raise capital for their business. Today we're talking with Marc-Andre Coulombe and Guillaume Letourneau from Trees of Lives, or Verdes Terra specifically, and they are working on restoration projects pretty much globally, correct?
Yeah. We work in Quebec, Ontario. We work in Haiti and the Caribbean. We work in the Burkina Faso in Africa, and work in Peru and Latin America. So we have our business all around the world, and that's just the beginning, because
Exactly.
we're planning to be everywhere.
Exactly. And
Your
so
help.
exactly with your help. So if you participate in the Trees of Lives raise, Trees of Lives Fund, you can purchase units on the backers platform. The Trees of Lives Fund the money will then be used to facilitate or support these projects of restoration. Obviously, there's a financial benefit to the participants who invest in the opportunity as well. Again, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. It may not be suitable for all, but definitely, Mark, appreciate you joining me every day here. Guillaume, before we set you free, can we ask one more time? Can you bust out the guitar? Come on, play just one chord for us. All the ladies are they're. Oh, I see electric guitar on the floor there.
Yeah, I can use it because it's quieter.
Yeah. You wanna. There we go.
So
This
if you ask
is
for
it asks
one
nicely.
chord,
Yeah, one chord. Here, I'll put you
this
on.
will be just the
There you go. Oh, there we go.
B chord, the best chord.
There you go. That's it. That little impromptu guitar. Anyways, everyone else, Mark, do you want to just touch on where can they go? What maybe kind of returns are they expecting from the fund? What just give us like a high level, maybe the terms of the deal. Give us a high level of what's happening with the Trees of Lives Fund that is now live on the backers.ca. Essentially backers.ca. You can go there, deals, go through the Trees of Lives offering. Tell us a little bit about the actual offering itself. How do we save the world?
Sorry?
How do we save the world?
Yeah, how do you save the world? Basically, you participate into a Trees of Lives Class A share equity in these funds. Those funds, will fund many projects. So this is an equity of many projects, like just a big pot, like to finance all of these projects. So basically, the minimum investment, is $100. So it's very accessible to a lot of people. Through the offering, crowdfunding offering, it's a maximum of 2,500. Outside of those offering, if you qualified, it can be higher for sure. Also, the type of return you can expect. We are not going to work on project then that are evaluated or estimated to be less than 7%. So basically, we cannot guarantee the return. What we can guarantee is that we've developed some business model, some technical financial model, and those model we ensure that they're not less than 7% return over time. Basically, we have models, that will generate much more than this. But how it works is that we do not impose, which type of model the landholder are going to work with. What we do is we offer them, many different models like on a shelf, and maybe Guillaume can touch a little bit about that after me. But we will do the ecological inventory. We will do the analysis of the soil capacity, and then we will choose among all of our model which technical financial model will be suitable for that kind of soil. And once we do that, maybe we're left with 3, 4, 5 different model, and the landholder will be picking and choosing, like the one model they want to be working with, and we're going to work that model with that landholder. So that's a little bit how we are going to make sure that fund, is making more than 7% return. That's not a guaranteed return, but those models, are estimated based on real data, on real system that have been existing for 7, 10, 30 years in the same area where we do the restoration. So those are sound data sound data, from research center, from governmental research center, and also like real commercial sites. So maybe like in the future, we're going to have Flor de Maria Robles. So she's living in Peru, and she's one of the person that will be talking on your show, Justin. And we will.
It's our show. It's not
our
my
show. Our show. And so she will be coming to our show and explaining, like all of those model. We'll probably go very deep in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on? He kind of said, Guillaume, you might be able to touch on the models. Do you want to sort of touch on a couple of like what the potential models that you offer to these landowners are,
and how we develop them,
and how you develop them?
What is soil capacity, and like why some model will fit some soil and other model won't. Like what would be like kind of the example like of the soil capacity?
Well, we have many models, and instead of detailing the models, which I think Flo will do, what I can say that is more relevant, I think, is that when we propose models to a participant, you will choose for like we propose the best scientific solution to him, or her, but sometimes they choose for a social or economical reason, which we respect. But what's important is, as we do so, when we implement a new solution, we measure everything that we do, we collect that data, we analyze it. So as we go along, the more we participate in many projects, we get more data and we get more ways to improve our model. So it's kind of an improvement cycle. It's the more we do, the more we're better at it. So that's it.
So it's an evolution too, and I think you mentioned this too, which is kind of interesting. So everyone tuning in, people kind of keep coming in and out. We're talking about the Trees of Lives Fund. They're raising money for Trees of Lives, or the Trees of Lives Fund is raising capital on the Backers platform through the Trees of Lives Fund. They will then support projects for Veritas Terra. Guillaume and Mark are both with Veritas Terra, myself, Justin Fox, with Backers. So we're discussing the opportunity to invest in the Trees of Lives Fund on the Backers platform. One of the things that you talked about, Guillaume, earlier is your ability to go in and reassess maybe if things aren't working properly, and then reassess and do sort of like reevaluation. And you're the person they call on to determine what's next or what else can be done, correct? So maybe walk into what that might look like.
First thing is like collect any easily available data that we can get, maybe some from the government or from maps or meteorological stations. So that's the easy part before we go. Then, depending on what methods or models were used on any site, we know what to expect normally. So where to make our measurements and what to measure. So it goes with like from soil sampling to plant sampling to like yield measurements. Normally, what's more important is that I can plan it so we get like statistically significant results. It's not just a couple of measurements that I think this would be better than something else. So it's done properly, so with replicated designs, and everything is set up in order for us to be able to extract more information. And then we have more and more experience with restoration. So when we have our basic sampling done and analyzed, then we can come up with solutions, and we have a bank of solutions. So that's when the job is easy. And right. when we have in bank is not sure to function, then we can go and try some new stuff and try to improve our methods. So that's the process normally.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question and this hasn't come up at all, and I think this is our 6th or 7th time going live here. Do you ever get to a project where you don't know what to do and you kind of just have to figure it out? Is there anything that's unique, or is a lot of what you're doing? I mean, I heard Mark say, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 year, track record in some of these, technologies or things that you're doing, is there ever a time where you're just going in sort of blind, if you will?
We're never blind.
There's always something. Yeah. You've always got experience, right?
Yeah, we have a good background of experience, so
right.
we always, but we can never predict. And most of the time, when something is really complicated, it comes from maybe a human side, because sometimes people have special requests. Yes, I want to use that species, but it's not made to grow there. Or sometimes we have special demands like that we have to scratch our heads to find solution. But normally within the team we have the knowledge to kind of solve most solutions.
Interesting, cool. Well, Guillaume, Mark, Guillaume, thank you again for joining us, obviously, on the show today. So just so everyone that's watching, it's Justin Fox, founder, CEO, backers, Marc-Andre Coulombe, Chief Corporate Affairs with Veritas Terra, and Guillaume, one of the directors, Guillaume Letourneau, director with Veritas Terra as well. On the program project side, right? It's sort of like in the field or back in the office doing the research, right? So exactly. So really appreciate you joining me. So everyone that's watching, Veritas Terra and Trees of Lives, the Trees of Lives Fund, are raising capital for their project, for Veritas Terra, for various projects, so that Guillaume can go in and do the reforestation and save the world, basically, right? Save the world. So you have an opportunity now to go on backers and invest in the Trees of Lives Fund. Obviously not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. It is a unique opportunity, though, I think. Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, and then we're just going to go. You've got a few minutes to answer, but what are your thoughts on the backers model? I know this is kind of out of left field. What are your thoughts on the ability for investors to invest as little as $100 into projects, whether it be Trees of Lives or other projects, other businesses, other private businesses across Canada? What are your thoughts on the backers model? I'll ask both of you, actually. Mark, you go first, and then Guillaume, let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so, I mean, backers for us is very great because we've been raising in the past. So we've been raising with qualified investor, like amount of 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 for a project. But that's very difficult, like to have access to these people. And usually compliance very hard to go through. Sometimes, we would face sometimes would be like under a week, but sometimes would be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, before we could do the transfer of the money. So it's very difficult, in the private compliance field to raise money. But with backers, the magic of it is really like two things, this is just automatic, you don't do nothing. Like people go there, they go on the platform, they click, they feel everything that they need to give as information, and then that's it, and they can do that with as low as $100. So I mean, that are the two for us game changer, in terms of raising money, and in terms of exit strategy, for sure having blockchain, kind of crypto currency, TOL, it's much easier, just to go tokenize those things and then exit. So because it's easier to exit, it's easier to get in, right? So I mean, I think those three things for my side, are the three game changer that backers is bringing in the game.
Cool. I like it. You said it a lot better than I could say it. How about you, Guillaume? What are your thoughts? I mean, this is something that obviously is going to impact your ability to go out and do these projects, right? You're going to have now, the funds to go out and, hopefully do this, replicate what you do many times over, right? What are your thoughts on sort of the setup? I don't know if you've looked at it too much, but what are your thoughts on what you've heard and what you've seen so far?
Well, I really like the fact that, I strongly believe that what we do is really worth investing in.
Right.
Like we're trying, you said it, we're trying to save the world. It's real, it's not only big companies that should be allowed to do that and to help us. So it's good that everybody can try to help us. So it's good for us because it helps to fund project, but it's also good for the general awareness of the population. So, like, even the smallest investments will motivate people to take good actions, like socially and environmentally in their life. So that's the better thing about
what's happening. Yeah,
about backers. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. Well, Guillaume, Mark, do you want to say something else, Mark?
Yeah, we didn't touch too much about that, but like we were talking about saving the world, but we were talking about this like the previous session. But right now we're facing like 2 billion hectare of degraded land, two sides of Canada. We're adding England, like as a degraded surface area every year. I mean, the pace is which like we destroying the earth really, with our economy is terrible, and we need to have like company like us and the general awareness. I really love how you put it, Guillaume. Talking about general awareness. We really need to be Veristera and backers. Used as a general awareness tool. To and not just be like doom and gloom and say, okay, we're going to die and there's nothing else we can do, and then we feel with this. Oh, okay, yeah, the climate is going terrible, the planet is going terrible, there's nothing I can do. Now with backers, backers help platform and the various company and the Trees of Lives offer, this mix of these three things, like you can do something. I mean, I think that's the message is now I can do something with my little me, like although I'm very small in front of this big big seemingly doom and gloom situation, like now I can do something. I can activate myself doing something while making money, while helping the world, while helping like the vulnerable community and having a social impact. So I think like that's the message, a message of hope, that we're bringing there. That small company with a lot of initiative, with a lot of innovation. We're smart and a fast mover. Like we're not like big company that can shift from their business model. We're really agile, so we can adapt as Guillaume said. Like when we're facing new challenge, because like we're very innovative. We can face those challenge and solve them. With our R&D department, with Guillaume as his charge. So I think the video, like the live today, is a message of hope that although we're facing all we face, I think there's a message of hope that we can do something, and almost everyone can do something.
Everyone, yeah, as little as $100, right? And that's the cool thing about backers. So it makes investing in these projects, which were previously inaccessible to 99% of the population, now accessible. You talked about, typically accredited investors, 5, 10, $25,000 minimums for the investment. Now on the backers platform, you can invest in projects like Trees of Lives and other small businesses and startups and early stage companies with as little as $100. So awesome. Really appreciate you guys joining me. Marc-Andre Coulombe, Guillaume Letourneau. Thanks, guys. Anyone you want to shout out to? You can just shout out to
yeah, because of COVID, like some family will be tough. So hello to all the family member and happy Christmas.
Bona feta, right? No, what is it? That's happy birthday. How do you say Merry Christmas in French? Joyeux Noël.
Joyeux Noël.
Joyeux Noël. Yeah,
Joyeux Noël.
Joyeux Noël. Exactly. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you guys again tomorrow, though. Mark, who's our guest tomorrow? Should we tee them up?
It will be Patricia Perez-Kutz.
Right.
So interestingly, like you kind of know her already. So
I don't know if
you know of her.
I know of her. She probably will never remember. We crossed paths. We worked together, but it was a much larger company. So, but it'll be interesting to hear her thoughts on the investment side, right? So she's obviously on the investment
emerging
side.
Market, right? So
emerging markets, exactly.
She will be talking about emerging markets. So we'll going to go deep in that. Why we go in Peru, like the risk and opportunity of this, and will be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Guillaume, thank you very much for joining me. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
playing the guitar. Sorry to throw you, put you on the spot, but that
No
was
problem.
awesome. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Everyone else, we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Tomorrow, actually. Bye.
Bye.